I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate, yes, the entire team, the ABS. I know Mr. Hill, your Vice President, is also here. Mr. Top, your Parish Secretary, your Parish Manager, and your entire executive and the farmers for the tremendous effort to work with the head office, work with us to get this project off the ground. And I would like the farmers to give you all a round of applause. Before I talk quickly about the project here, I would like to just pause to salute the work of the farmers of Jamaica. The farmers have done tremendously well in 2014 to help transform the Jamaican economy. 228,000 farmers brought growth in the first quarter of 2014, growth again in second quarter. There was a decline by 21% in the third quarter, but because we had tremendous growth in first and second quarter, domestic crop production at the end of the third quarter was almost equal to the production of 2013. The farmers of Jamaica experienced the worst drought in 100 years, where some 18,000 farmers were affected and cost the sector some $1 billion. But with the support from the Ministry of Agriculture, RADA, and the JAS, the ministry has pumped in some $150 million in the drought mitigation program. And can you believe, farmers, that from a decline at the end of the third quarter, the agriculture sector recovered in the third quarter to the extent where we did not have to import a number of local produce to fill the Christmas demands. And I want to just salute some category of farmers. The egg farmers producing 130 million eggs in 2014, valuing $6 billion. That's big, big progress, to the extent that for 2014, we did not have to import one single dozen of egg for Christmas. Your president, Mr. Dobson, is a pork farmer, and we need to salute the pork farmers because they too have ensured that all the hams that you will eat for Christmas is from Jamaican pork, which has allowed us to be self-sufficient in pork production in Jamaica. We need to salute the pork farmers. And I want my good friend to just shake him locks and salute the pork farmers. I want to share one last set of statistics. The question of table potatoes. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, Jamaica was importing 90% of the table potatoes that we consume in Jamaica. And I want to talk some figures. 20 million pounds of Irish potato was imported in Jamaica. At the end of 2013, because of the relentless work of the farmers, the strategies of the government and the Ministry of Agriculture, working with the JAS and RADA, the Jamaican farmers have been able to produce 90% of table potatoes, whereby we were able to reduce the imports of table potatoes from 20 million pounds to only 4 million pounds. So we have moved from a position where we were importing 90% and we are now producing 90%. You know, all of this is a part of a great strategy of the Grow What We Eat campaign that we must celebrate. 11 years of the campaign, we have moved the production of domestic crop from 491,000 metric tons to 614,000 metric tons, an increase of 25%. It simply means that the Jamaican farmers have grown the agricultural domestic crop production by 2.25% per annum over the 11 years. That rate of growth is greater than the rate of growth of the economy. And let me tell you something, Westmoreland farmers. This is something that we must celebrate, because agriculture is not the Cinderella of the Jamaican economy. It is a lifeblood of our economic development. And I want to use this Christmas to say that the biggest Christmas present that the Jamaican farmers have given Jamaica is to produce the food that we need for this Christmas, and for that we need to salute you. I would like to segue in a special call, and I've already written to the Most Honorable Prime Minister to indicate that the Jamaica Agricultural Society, the umbrella farmers group in Jamaica, would like standing at the partner for Jamaica's progress. We think that all the groups that are at the Partnership for Progress, the Partnership for Jamaica, have played and are playing a critical role. We think that because of the critical importance of agriculture to the development of our economy, then the farmers should be at that table. And I have written to the Most Honorable Prime Minister expressing the intention from the Jamaica Agricultural Society that we would like to engage her as a partner around that table with the other sectors to discuss how we can advance Jamaica forward, and as we work together to develop our rural areas. I think the time has come for the farmers to ensure that our voices are heard. We are playing our part as it relates to production, and without a doubt, we want to continue to partner with the government of Jamaica to develop Jamaica for our children to come. Farmers, I'd like to say that this particular project here is very important to the Jamaica Agricultural Society. And today marks an accomplishment for the Jamaica Agricultural Society, the Westmoreland farmers, and certainly the Lawson's family, as our newly refurbished JAS Westmoreland Complex and Farm Store, which we will dedicate today in the name and in the honor of Arthur Lawson. It will be branded the JAS Arthur Lawson Commercial Complex. And in fact, it will be a one-stop shop over the long run for farmers in the parish of Westmoreland. I'd like to say, Mr. Member of Parliament, I'd like to share with the Deputy Mayor and the Parish Council that FINSAC had this property. FINSAC had this property way back from in 1992. And I'm very, very happy to advise you, the farmers in Westmoreland, that June of 2014, I sent a check to FINSAC to settle an outstanding debt of 85 million Jamaican dollars, and this property and the title is now in our keep at the head office for the farmers of Westmoreland and for the farmers of Jamaica. And this is a particularly proud moment, because we took some great risk in doing the investment, but we bank on the wisdom of those who understand the importance of agriculture and farmers. And I want to tell you that it is a great step in the right direction. So this property is free and clear. This property is your property. This property is a property of the farmers of Westmoreland, and I'm going to charge you to take care of it. The second thing is that the JAS has invested some $20 million in this project here so far. And I want to commend Simon Yu, who have partnered with the JAS. We have provided him with a long-term lease. His consolidated farm store will be operated out of here. And in fact, we have a memorandum of understanding that once you are a registered, paid-up member of the JAS, you will be offered a special discounts. And therefore, I want all farmers to be supporting this project here. The third thing that I'd like to indicate to you is that we're not stopping here. I have just released an additional $500,000 that is now in the accounts of the Westmoreland Development Fund, because right after this week, we're going to continue the development of the complex in phase 2, where we're going to establish offices at the top of the farm store, where it will host the ABS office. I'm hoping that farmers, if we have shops to rent, members can also rent it. And therefore, we're going to continue the development of the project here in Westmoreland. Member of Parliament and Councillor, I want you to come on board. I want you to match my $500,000. Let me repeat it. Councillor Gordon, don't hear me. No. Because the JAS would like to partner with Member of Parliament Vaz and the councillor for this division to expand this complex. I have asked the President to ensure that we pave this entire area to the extent that when I come down in June, I would like to have our annual general meeting right here on a complex that is owned by the Jamaica Agricultural Society. I would like us to have a structured farmers market right here, where farmers can come on a weekly or a monthly basis to sell their produce, where hotel operators can come and buy agricultural produce in bulk. We should not stop the development of agriculture, because without agriculture, there is no future for Jamaica. So today signals the start of a new partnership. As I welcome MP Vaz and as I address the parish council, I'd like to say that the Jamaica Agricultural Society and the farmers were open for business, and we are here to work with you as we develop agriculture in an exponential way. Listen, Jamaica don't need to import $1 billion worth of food every year. We can grow it right here in Jamaica, and Westmoreland can do a great part of that production, and therefore we need to engage that process. We need to engage that process as it relates to infrastructural development, our rural roads and our farm roads network. We need to ensure that there's adequate water supply as it relates to irrigation water, so our farmers are able to produce on a continuous basis. The JAS, through our central marketing system, we are working to talk to our farmers and create markets for our farmers. We have gotten an investment from the Universal Access Fund of $10 million, where we are now constructing a farmers call center in Kingston. And we have released 3 computers to Westmoreland to set up a internet cafe where farmers can go in, log their information, and tell us what products they have to sell and when they have it to sell, so we can go and get markets for those farmers. We need to be relentless in our quest to provide markets for our farmers. So today, we dedicate the JAS Arthur Lawson Commercial Complex in honor of Mr. Arthur Lawson, a stalwart farmer who has contributed significantly to the development of agriculture in Westmoreland, and over 40 years a member of the Jamaica Agricultural Society. Mr. Lawson was a JAS board member, a member of the Cocoa Industry Board, All Island Cane Farmers Association, the West Cane Farmers Association, and one of the voices and contributors to the Pre-de-Larceny Act, or the Agricultural Receipt Book System. In fact, as a youngster, I listened to Mr. Lawson articulating the need to support the farmers by introducing a law that would nab the predial thieves. Today, pre-de-larceny is costing the sector some $6 billion. $6 billion. And I'd like to celebrate the fact that the ministry, the new minister of agriculture, has just signed the ID traceability, the animal ID traceability system that is aimed to tag 60,000 heads of cattle over the next 12 months. The JS has called for the tagging as well of goats and sheep, the small ruminant industry, because there's a huge opportunity in those sectors. And we must tackle the farm terrorists who continue to live on the backs of our farmers. And we must do it in a decisive way. You know, when I speak of the goat and the sheep sector, it is embarrassing to note that Jamaica loves we curry goat and we mutton and we runku soup. But 75% of the mutton or the goat that we consume in Jamaica is imported. Councillor Gordon, 75%. Jamaica has a goat population of 500,000. In order to fill that demand, we need to increase it to 2.5 billion. This is an area that we can target for growth and expansion and the creation of jobs for our youth. And therefore, under the Eat What We Grow campaign, we will be focusing on expanding those areas. Mr. Lawson, we are going to be dedicating this farm store, which will serve as a one-stop shop, the complex, for all farmers passing through Sav and Westmoreland, providing inputs that farmers need daily to effectively produce their crops. Agricultural inputs, primary seeds, fertilizer, agrochemicals, all the items that is required will be sold here as we quest to expand agricultural production. Today, we celebrate the life of this great man. We remember him in his life. We salute him in his death. And because of his contribution to the development of agriculture, we will ensure that his name will live on in the parish of Westmoreland. I'd like to conclude on a few notes. One, that Jamaica needs in 2015 to recognize that farming is big business. And let me just repeat it. Farming is big business because 80% of our food supplies in the world is supplied by small farmers. And while the JAS embraces, and we commend the government as it relates to the agri parks, 8,000 acres firstly established, now an additional 8,000 hectares, and where agri parks will be coming to the west, it is important for us to recognize that our 228,000 farmers, 79% of those farmers farm on 2.5 acres of land. These are family farmers, these are small farmers. But interestingly, these farmers produce 80% of Jamaica's food supply. And that is why I'm saying these small farmers, MP, are very, very important to the economy. And we want to engage the parish council. We want to engage the member of parliament to work with the JAS, because we are focused on helping the small farmers. And the data that I share with you is no different from what happens in the world. In the world, there's 570 million farms. 500 million of those farms are small farmers. But they produce the most job. They provide 80% of the food supply. And the quicker we realize that when we help a small farmer, we're helping 4 or 5 other individuals as it relates to the creation of jobs. And I say that a lot of the money that has been going to big contractors, we need to find a way to trickle it down to the small farmers who are feeding a lot more hands and touching a lot more lives. That has to start with political representation. Some of the money that is going through our constituency development fund, some of the money that we have in the parish council, we have to find a way to support those JAS groups. We have to find a way to support those farming groups to create an opportunity and a job for themselves and for the entire family. The Jamaican import bill continue to move. And in the context of this, we will intensify the Grow What We Eat campaign. Interestingly, the region's total import bill is about $5 billion. Jamaica's import bill represents 21% of that. So Jamaica as a region is importing a lot more food than other countries. And I make that point because when we reduce import, it is going to create jobs for our people. It is going to create income for our people. And I think that the agricultural sector has the potential to create 100,000 new jobs for our people over the next 3 years if we get the support. So, MP Vaz, I'm going to be leaning on you. I'm going to be leaning on you. And I'm going to instruct the president and the parish manager and the regional manager to talk to you. Write some projects and present it to MP Vaz so he can submit it to the part as his constituency fund. And I can tell you, if you support the farmers won't let you down. And Roger will tell you that. Right? So we are looking for a big partnership. I'd like to close by commending Chairman and Vice President Hill. Where is he? He has to run. But the Betteltown Farmers Association, which is a sorrel factory, which is a project that came out of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, once more. And Mr. President, I want to commend you. But that project is an investment of 30 million Jamaican dollars. And I want to thank organizations such as JSIF, Digicel Foundation, and JN Foundation, and the Member of Parliament. The Member of Parliament, in fact, who is now our Minister of State, Honorable Buchanan, who provided $1 million. But that project, in fact, is going to help to transform Westmoreland. And I want the farmers to grow all the sorrel. The days are gone when we are out of sorrel. We are now producing a lot more sorrel. And I'm very happy to indicate to you that the Farmers Association has applied to the JAS for an additional $1 million worth of working capital, which we are assessing. And there's a general sign-off on it, but they are supposed to be doing some additional project work. We are going to work with the Westmoreland JAS in a big way to help you to become one of the best JAS parish in Jamaica, Mr. President. I'd like to indicate that the JAS we are launching, and today we were to have them, but COK has worked with the JAS for the development of a JAS COK Farmers Pension Plan that is aimed to secure a future for our farmers. So once you are 65 and younger, once you are 65 and younger, you can be a member of that pension plan. And there are a lot of farmers that says, you know, President, I'm 70 and I'm 75. And what about me? I have actually negotiated a special class with COK. But in 10 or 15 years from now, we should not have farmers who get to 60 and 65 and they don't have a retirement plan. And therefore, it is something that we are working on, and we want you to work with us on it. And your parish manager, your president, will provide the necessary information. So today is not necessarily a day for long speeches, even though I've been a little long. But it's really a day to wish you a Merry Christmas, to dedicate this building in the honor, and really just to big up the farmers because of the tremendous work that they are doing. And I want to be very, very previous. I also want from day one for the JAS to establish a tighter relationship with institutional relationship with your Member of Parliament and your councillors as we seek to expand this complex and make this a showpiece for farmers in the parish of Westmoreland. Thank you very much for your support. May God bless you, and may God bless the work of our farmers and Jamaica land we love.